you hear me? Yeah, good. Okay, hi. My name is Mark Verbos. I'm here from New York City. I'm the designer and owner of Verbos Electronics, which is what this product here is. What I want to talk about today is about the way that I use this instrument as part of this simple setup to do live performances. I've done live performances like this for a long time, 22 years, but it slowly evolved in different ways using different pieces of equipment. But in about 2 years ago, I started this brand of Eurorack synthesizer modules. At that point, it seemed like the natural evolution to start using my instrument to do my performances. So with a modular system, it's actually pretty easy to get multiple things to happen from a small amount of equipment. So the way that I'm doing the performances is entirely improvised, and because of that, it's completely different every time. The master clock of what's happening here is my TR-909. Using the trigger out, which is synchronized to the rhythm that's programmed on the rim shot sound, I can step forward step sequencer, and in this particular case, it's the voltage multistage that's acting as the primary sequencer. And then that is acting as a simple controller for a synthesizer voice that at the moment I have set up as the complex oscillator, which is a dual oscillator that's configured, one as the primary or the voice portion of it, and a dedicated modulation oscillator that can do either FM or AM, and then has some rather interesting wave shaping possibilities built into it. And then that's going directly into an amplitude and tone controller, which is a discrete transistor based low pass filter that is feeding into an all discrete transistor based VCA, which right now is patched with a multi-envelope opening that VCA. And then I additionally have a patch, a very, very simple patch, which is just a harmonic oscillator plugged into the mixer. And a harmonic oscillator is an oscillator that has the same core as the complex oscillator, but it uses a wave shaper that folds up the triangle core to multiply it by 2, 3, 4, 5, etc., to have the first 8 harmonics as sine waves. So it presents a whole bunch of sound sources at the same time in front. And this built-in mixer that has some extra controls to deal with the channels in a macro way. It's actually so has so many possibilities just right built into the module that it can essentially act as an entire synthesizer voice just on its own. So this, together with some modulation sources, can create very interesting slow drones that are changing all the time, and particularly when this is run through some reverb effects, it seems to go on and on and on without ever repeating. So if I have a little bit more time, I guess I'll explain a little bit about what I was doing. So it's all pretty simple stuff, but you know, the challenging thing can be that oftentimes in using a modular, there's a lot of time between the good things. So that could require some experimentation to get to something that's usable. So in a situation like right now where I don't even have headphones, I'm in a position where I can't really, I can't take that risk. I mean, obviously some things are not going to work that well, so there are going to be moments that aren't that great, but it's kind of part of the process, and I have to try to use what I have in my mind as an idea, and the way that things are patched, the experiences I have with patching stuff, to try to get to what I'm thinking without hearing it first. So that means that I have to sometimes take some sort of risk, and it turns into something kind of crappy. So that's I think it's kind of an exciting way of doing this, because it's kind of the opposite of the idea that that everything has to be polished and perfected. I think that really the charm of using a modular is that you're actually interacting with it. It's giving you something, and you're giving it something, and you're reaching out and touching something. So I try to sort of store in my internal patch memory things, different ways of patching things that shape up to work really well, and then go back to them when the opportunity is there, and if it seems like it's going to start working. The harmonic oscillator drone thing is something that I go to all the time, because it just seems like a kind of automatic way to transition, or to calm down into a sort of spaced out calm section, and it's really nice for transitioning from one sort of rhythmic, more techno motif into another one. So so it's a kind of almost too cliche thing that I go to over and over again. And another thing that if I'm sort of struggling for a way to get away from all the time just trigger, the same stuff, I can program rhythms in the 909. I can program rhythms on the rim shot that's triggering the sequencer, so that it's not just playing all the 16th notes and I'm turning them on and off with these switches. I can actually create the rhythm elsewhere. So a real quick example of that. Let me. So in this case, the rhythm that's coming out of the drum machine, moving the sequencer forward, is playing only 8 times in the course of a 16-step measure. So this rhythm pattern here is that rhythm is created by the 909, and the notes are created by the sequencer. So it can sometimes be another option for me, and maybe that's it. Thanks for listening.